Morning, Jake. Morning, buddy. Just give me 10 minutes. We'll get chatting. I can hear you. Just give me 10 minutes, buddy. 10 minutes. One sec, buddy.
We start in 10 minutes.
We start now. But we'll start in 10 minutes, yeah.
You see the drip, yeah, I fit it out. Up in my car and get it out. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the fence since big song. Neighborhood, all in the entrance. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut no jaws. Yo, squad shaking like birds raw. No breaks, we go, 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 go. Don't shade us, no, 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 no. Go high, go low, low, low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD 24. No sleep, need more, more, more. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I fit it up. Up in my car and get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I fit it up. Up in my car and get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I'm a real one, my day one. Try speak up, can't say none. Try dig dirt, there ain't none. I make the money that save us. 10 to 80, my savers. Take to the top of the baseline. New car, Winston, fast lane, with the booyah, it's a flex. Non-human life from another planet. I'ma teleport my vanish. I'ma wake up, do damage. Drawing number 7, these boredom. Working all night, need more though. I remember nights I was poured up. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I fit it up. Up in my car and get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I fit it up. Up in my car and get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Jake, we'll start when people start to show up.
Yeah, fine, no worries.
We'll get talking in a minute, just doing some other stuff in the meantime while we get rolling.
Yeah, that's fine. €300 I'm coming back.
Morning, Jamie. How you doing, brother? Doing well, buddy. No complaints.
David, you're doing a workshop this week or next week?
Next week, yeah. This week's been too much going on. Next Wednesday, Wednesday, Jamie.
that workshop going to be on, Damon?
Not sure yet, buddy. Not sure yet, buddy. I'm gonna be doing a lot of thinking.
Oh,
Jamie, you said sound? You can't hear me?
no, he told me he's like sounds in like.
Figure of speech. Got it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Jamie, you from the UK, bro?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Is it? Well, that explains it. Whereabouts? Southampton. How old where it is? Close. I think I've been. That's probably. I thought it was like quite close, but now. Sheffield, mate. Sheffield. Yeah, it's probably the nearest one is Nottingham and Leeds, like kind of in between those. But everything was normal though, Jimmy. I went to London all the time, so got family in Yorkshire. Oh man, when it's normal times and you come up, let me know. Chill out. Cool, bro. We're straight together.
Yeah. Adam, we're getting close to entry, buddy. I'll show you here. So Adam, what I'm waiting
we haven't had price action yet, have we?
Yeah, what I'm waiting for here is here on Cat Swiss Franc, right? We have the push breaking the daily to the upside. We have our lower lows here. So what I want to wait for here is price to break this downtrend, this lower time frame downtrend to the upside. Once we do, we have an entry to the upside, okay? Here we have Aussie Yen. Jake, we had a missed opportunity here yesterday, I guess, because your internet's just up now. We had the impulse to the downside, retest the previous high. We're waiting for that break at mid-range zone to make our way to the upside. Okay, Aussie USD, we have that push. We're waiting for exhaustion here, full exhaustion. All right, we have, as you guys can see, double top here, testing what it was our higher time frame downtrend, now new support, right? Former resistance, new support. So we're going to be looking for full test of our zone before we move to the upside. Okay, here on CAD Yen. All right, we finally see price breaking our zone to the upside that we've identified, area of sensitivity. Okay, failing to come back for full exhaustion. So we're actually going to adjust our entry here, move our SL, and we're going to look for a move to the upside. But we can see here on the 4-hour time frame that price is following some sort of channel. As you can see, we have higher highs. Price will likely make its way up here before then coming back for an exhaustion, where then we're going to be looking for entry, okay? So just FYI on that. Epic.
What was the missed opportunity, David, on Australian dollar?
Aussie Yen. So if you go to Aussie Yen,
Yeah, I go for it.
price reached its mid-range zone on the lower time frame. Okay, for the 1 hour, I think it's 1H mid-range.
Yeah.
Impulse to the downside here.
Mm.
Previous sensitivity. Move back to previous high. Awesome, Adam. Awesome. All right. Jake, anything you're seeing, buddy?
Just the CAD CHF is, CAD Swiss, close to entry, like you said, looking for the break. I've gone through all the ones that we went through yesterday, the list. Got a few. We've got a few that are possibly yellow. Australian dollar, US dollar, Euro CAD, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Yeah, I've got quite a few that are in the yellow.
Euro's interesting because it continues to change, right? We have strength right now in the euro due to the ECB speech, right? European Central Bank. But at the same time, we have nice moves to the downside. I think Canadian dollar is obviously seeing more strength in the euro right now due to OPEC.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just hoping for a better exhaustion than what we're getting right now. It is pretty minor. However,
On which one? The Euro CAD, yeah?
yeah, here, I guess I'll show my
Yeah, I
screen.
mean, it's seeing sell pressure now, possibly looking for it to come back more. Yeah, it's not really,
Yeah.
it's not really tested it really, has it?
Yeah, Euro Aussie, we still need
Yeah, we still
that
need
break to the downside. But I don't think we're gonna get it. To be honest with you, Aussie's got a lot of strength right now. So I'm not really worried about that. Euro Swiss franc. Oi. Okay, Euro Swiss franc. Move to the upside. We want price to kind of break. We have a mid-range area here.
How about the Euro? The British pound against the Euro. That's coming back to retest. So have a quick look at that.
Yeah, not many brokers allow that pair. Hey, like we won't be trading that pair on the Wanda.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Yeah, just wonky. Previous high. The move to previous high is optimal. As you can see, the moves to previous high is pretty much the play these days. You don't want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at it about an hour ago, it looked like it was coming back to retest. So yeah.
Yeah.
And that move to the upside happened when both the Euro and Great British Pound were closed, so that doesn't make sense. So.
Yeah, Euro's gaining strength again. Yen is weakening, so this will become invalid. I'll tell the team that. We'll go over that when we go through the FXG Live today.
Euro, Japanese
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got red on that one.
Yeah. Look at the Canadian dollar. Look at how strong the Canadian dollar is even against the Aussie.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of Canadian dollar strength. We got to keep that in mind and put that in the bank.
Have I got Australian dollar CAD? Yeah, I've got waiting for
Aussie USD.
Waiting on that one.
Aussie USD is coming back for exhaustion. We know that. Aussie pound, which by the way also Oanda does not have as
Really?
yeah. Okay, testing the upside. All right.
What have I got on Australian dollar pound? I haven't got that one down. No.
All right, Aussie yen. Testing, as we know, we have the push. We're looking for that. We have exhaustion. We're now looking for that continuational push. We have price testing our mid-range. As you can see, our lower time frame mid-range. Once we have break of this mid-range to the upside, we're looking up. We're going to be going in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should have a break pretty soon here, Aussie. We shouldn't be seeing too much weakness. Okay.
Yeah, I've got red on that one. It just didn't see buy pressure at all.
No buy pressure here on Aussie Kiwi at all. As this could even be a higher time frame exhaustion if we take a look. So it looks like
I
Aussie.
think I've readjusted mine to the higher time frame exhaustion.
Yeah. So we're finally seeing sell pressure from that mid-range zone. So, depending if a new uptrend starts here, we may find ourselves entering again. However, clearly the Kiwi is starting to gain strength. And we mentioned that yesterday, right? We know that the New Zealand dollar is gaining strength, so that's to be careful. Again, another example of a good price action then going into entry confirmation, right? Aussie Kiwi, CAD Yen.
I've got waiting for exhaustion on that one.
Yeah, waiting for some type of. We had a nice lower time frame entry. Prices breaking previous high, potentially. Maybe adjusting our entry for our long term entry. Okay. CAD Swiss franc we know already. All right, we have that lower time frame downtrend that we're waiting for the move to the upside. Then we're in. Right? Then we're in. Okay, so CAD Swiss franc.
Do we have price action on the 4 hour? Is there a pin on the 4 hour?
Well, let's see price action confirmation. That's a significant pin bar.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's all I need to see.
So now we're looking for entry confirmation, right? So the entry confirmation would be the break of this downtrend to the upside. Pound USD. All right, pound USD. Obviously, buy pressure testing the battle of sell pressure at our monthly upper. Okay, then we have. It's really hard. It's really hard to go up here. Okay, why? Because we have sell pressure from a monthly zone. Even though fundamentals are to the upside, it's really hard. All right, because we know that there's going to be reaction at area sensitivity, regardless of what fundamentals are saying. All right, pound yen, we're almost in. We just need to wait for the break of previous high. Yeah. Correct. All right, so we're almost in there. And anyways, just a little bit of patience, team. We're going to be in a few trades coming up here quite quickly. What happened here? There we go. All right.
Yellow.
So, the checklist. What's happening now with the checklist? So for the members who are watching right now, the checklist is done. So now it's just being designed. It's being designed. It's sent to Sharif.
That'd be good to actually, when we get entries, to actually go through, tick things, and then be able to show that everything ticks the boxes, and then what stage everyone's looking for. That'd be good.
Next. I'm playing all these royalty-free music so we can stream. Problem is half the stuff's garbage.
Otherwise, royalty-free.
Good morning, Joe. Morning. Morning, everybody.
We might get another entry on Australian value.
Aussie yen, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Back.
It's getting there.
It's being sell pressure. Hope it comes back
And we'll rebuy. If it comes back down here to previous area, I might even enter down below.
Yeah, if we see the buy pressure, then I'm in.
Exactly.
But that's the top on the list, that one. As we've had against the Swift. Cool.
Jake, we're gonna work on your schedule for the next week, okay? To make things more efficient.
Yeah, fine with me.
All right. I know your suggestions were good as well. We'll do that. Like Friday one-on-ones, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Fridays is like the day where we can actually, proper people time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't place any entries on a Friday. So
No. Yeah.
I don't even look at the charts on Friday.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because I found that quite early on. Fridays. Yeah, even if you do get a good move, the Monday opening is not straight out. So.
Yeah, the gaps.
Yeah, gaps as well. Especially lower time frame. You probably want to be out at like 12 o'clock at night. By the time it's Friday, yeah, you probably get like a move again for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very like risk averse. Like even placing trades on a Thursday afternoon, I'm very after Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's kind of the last day.
Got it, brother.
But now, what's up now?
Okay, yeah, we're getting close to some entries here. Aussie US.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we have a full exhaustion coming down now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing buy and sell sensitivity. Just looking to put out the reinjections previous high. Yeah, you're not feeling that one. I mean, to be honest, we've got.
Well, we do have a mid range.
Right. Do you know in this scenario, David, if we've got Australian dollar, US dollar, and Australian dollar against the Japanese yen, and we have entries on both, I would go for the one that's got the most fundamental strength against the weakest one.
Yeah, of course, totally. That's 100% the way to do it. You don't need to enter both unless both are.
No, you're just doubling your risk.
I'm gonna open up TradingView via.
Wait. So yeah, I've got if they come back to full exhaustion, injection full time.
I have issues with trading.
TP1 where this push completed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Aussie USD.
Do you know I'm trading on FX Blue? Do you go on the? Do you know it's where it gives you the minute, 34 hour and daily? Do you get the average of those?
Yeah, I average those up.
I got it.
Exactly.
Because on the other ones, like someone said yesterday, on the relative strength they switch from like day to day. So it's a bit, yeah. Obviously, when big hours, that'll be a lot better.
Right. 100%. Ours is going to be more efficient. Hopefully that's up ASAP here. Fuck. I'm waiting like everybody else.
Real good for now.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know what? I can imagine this happening in cheesy video of like a sunset.
What was that? One more time?
But I can imagine this song having like a cheesy video of like a sunset.
Oh man,
Like dancing on the beat.
I love some good beats, man. Problem is that I don't know half these songs, majority of them I don't know. It's terrible music. Oh my gosh.
Don't tell me you're into your mumble rap.
No, I'm not into the mumble rap.
I don't think so. Watch, I've just offended some people now.
Just the worst. I can't believe this.
Sounds like something else scary a little bit.
There may be some soft house.
That'll do me that. We've gone through Kiwi,
too intense for me.
Australian dollar,
I think you're using the mic off your webcam. Jake, we have to fix that, buddy.
What, can you not hear me?
No, not well.
It's the same as the device. Yeah, it's the same what I was using yesterday. It's not webcam, and it's not the it's just got my laptop.
Okay, yeah, that's why we need to get you a mic. The quality's not
I
great.
need to get a mic.
Yeah. It's okay.
Don't worry, if you need to say something, I'll do it straight away.
Jamie's asking about Aussie yen.
Yeah.
So Jamie, Aussie yen, buddy, we're here. We're waiting for price to break the mid range. Okay, either that's gonna happen, and we're gonna look for entry, or price is gonna make its way back, and we might look for entry down here, because we know that fundamentals are to the upside. So I'm not necessarily worried. I'm just looking for entry at area support. Okay, Jamie, we'll go through that together during live session. I'm just gonna make myself a coffee. I'll be right back.
I'll send you something, David. Let me know if that's good enough.
1 sec.
I'll also, can you get USB splitters as well? Because I've literally got no more USBs on my laptop. So either take that screen out or have the microphone.
I would get a different mic than what you sent me. Here, let me
You got
show
any
you.
recommendations?
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to me.
So I think you need a USB mic just for a quick plug and play.
Yeah. Did you send it me on email?
Yeah. Trade Telegram. Just send you the link to the one. Yeah. Easy peasy. Just grabbing some coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll order that now.
Cool, buddy. Alrighty, I put the kettle on. And now we shall continue.
Yeah, the other thing bad about that mine, David, is that it comes on the 3rd of December. No, sorry, the 3rd of February.
Can you are you allowed to go to Best Buy or things like that? Tech shops in the UK?
I think that they're open. I'll probably have to look online, get it from a different source than Amazon.
Or even just pick up, because they always have it. They'll always have that. They're always in stock with that stuff.
Do Minecraft Snowball. Yeah, there's a shop down the road that has it, and I can just click and collect it. That might be.
There you go. Rather than waiting a few months, perfect.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't even like to wait in traffic. I'm not waiting. No, seriously, there was this there was these roadworks on this road. There was about 50 cars lined up. I literally turned around and went the long way around. Even though it probably took me longer.
Yeah, you just can't sit still.
So I just went the way around.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I'm very impatient. I'm not waiting.
Hi, Sahal.
Collect right away. I can collect it now.
Perfect, yeah. Okay. Hi, Sahal. How are you, buddy? We're live not throughout the day, but yeah, a few hours for sure. 2 hours before our live session, and a couple hours after. Hey, buddy. Hey, Morgan. How you doing, bud? Joey, JJ, Jamie, Chris, Adam. Hey, guys. So, one thing I do see here that could happen here with Aussie yen is there's a possibility. It's not 100%, but there could be something like this where price starts to just play. Kind of creates its own trend. That's another option. That's another possibility.
I think if we just see good buy pressure at the lower zone.
Yeah, if it breaks the mid range.
If we see none and then that can play out.
If it breaks the mid range to the upside, that's for sure not happening. Hector, how you doing, buddy? Hector's always driving at work.
That's some dedication right there.
I just want to know why it's always beautiful outside wherever he is. So he's got the sun beaming right down on him. You can unmute if you want, Hector.
Yeah, where are you from?
Okay, who's gonna be, by the way, who wants to be the profile today? We're gonna do half hour before the live session. Who wants to come on, just introduce themselves, talk about how long they've been trading, a little bit about where they're from, etc. Jamie, how about you? I'm throwing you under the bus here. I know.
Yeah, I can collect that tomorrow, David. So done.
Great, buddy. So now now you got everything. You got the internet's correct now. You got proper internet.
Yeah, I see that photo, didn't I? Of the literally. I always see them when I'm taking Bruce a walk. So there's the internet box at the bottom of my road, and I thought, oh, guaranteed this time when I'm taking Bruce, I'll see him. And then when I was coming back, I saw him. I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, your speed's good. It's gonna make your life so much easier. Even if you're not a trader, you should have awesome. You should have awesome.
It's just something I've never really thought of. It's always been fine just on my laptop and trading, but obviously, doing this wasn't substantial.
Okay. So who's gonna be doing the interview today?
So we've been able to narrow down.
1 sec.
Analysis 1, 2, 3, possibly just 3, 4.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close to a few trades, team. Okay, Morgan, yeah. Awesome, Morgan. So Morgan volunteered in 12 minutes. No, that'd be 20. In 22 minutes, Morgan. So at half hour into the hour. We are going to, because I know whatever time, I don't know what time it is wherever you are. We're going to do a little interview. So, have your webcam on if you don't mind. In half hour, I'm going to ask you a few questions. We're going to start to get to know the team a little bit better, everybody involved. I want to know how long you've been trading. I want to know, about yourself, your hobbies, where you're from, a little about your family. We want to know about everybody. Okay, that's a part of the team. So in 21 minutes, I'll be asking you to join me. Cool, awesome. Thanks, Morgan. So if you can just prepare your webcam and mic and all that stuff. Thanks. Thank you. It's a little tricky, team, because with the music, because it's not like I can just put on the normal music that I like. Because this is streaming, I have to stream royalty-free music, which I pay for a service. But the problem is that the music's a little bit weird. So you're lucky, you're not lucky. Trying my best here. I know everybody likes different music, but what can you do?
If you went for hip hop or something, then people might not like that, but of course, no one really knows what it is. Not too bad.
Yeah, exactly. No one really knows.
It's just generic music. Like,
Yeah.
You can't really love it or hate it.
People have opinions, man. You'd be surprised how many people love or hate things.
Yeah, I'm probably too easy going. That's what all my girlfriends have said. I'm just too laid back. It's like I don't care.
What she's really saying is she wants you to take control.
No, she just wanted. I mean.
When that's the rule number one. I've been married for long enough. Whenever my wife says, "What? Be more like, why do you not care?" Like, I really don't care. Like, if I'll literally sometimes be like, "What do you want to eat for dinner tonight?" If we're going out for dinner, she'll be like, "What do you want?" I'll be like, "I don't care. I eat everything." But when they say it, they want you to take control. That's what they're saying. They want you to be the man. I've read books about it.
Not with decisions like that, making like they were just like seeing each other and stuff like, yeah, I don't mind, go out with your friends, that's fine, I'm gonna go out with mine, like, they like don't care, like, well, you have a life, don't you?
all the females that are in the group, you all know. It's one of those things where we're just different. Men and women are just different. We have to figure each other out. That's women have to figure men out, and men have to figure women out.
Men are much more simple.
It seems like a decent beat.
Watch, I'm gonna start getting relationship first.
If you need any advice, ask me. I'm the master. I'm not the master.
I think I'm good for now. Just stick to trading, and then we'll move on to that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Chris, I will be doing my own live soon. Now that main net's up and running, so that just needs to set up next. So
yeah, Chris, that was the only thing was Jake's. I wanted Jake to get the fastest internet he could, so there's no issues. So starting next week, Chris, Jake will be having his own. So he'll be posting his own Zoom link for the members. And then I'll be joining him at 6 a.m. So the answer is yes. Starting next Monday. Awesome.
Like the stream was fine. It was just when I shared my screen, so I couldn't really show it at anybody, anything. Like it just froze.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, bro, I'll be excited to have you.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. We're filling in the gaps. Yeah, Jamie, you as well out there in the UK, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this beat.
some ugly tangled clothes on the CAD Swiss.
Yeah, ugly price action. What's happening there right now?
Yeah, that's a bit. Buy pressure, boom, sell pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, it's not done yet. Of course, there's lots of space
I
to
wasn't
go.
running yet, but I was just like, I wasn't not expecting that, but we'll see.
Chris is saying, have I been shorting Bitcoin like he said? The answer is no, Chris, but I do know that Bitcoin is moving down. Listen.
Yeah, I looked at Bitcoin this morning. Seems to not have.
I just don't think that for me it's good to trade crypto. I just stick to what I know, you know. I stick to what works for me. But if you're shorting Bitcoin right now, I want to know all about it. I want to know all about it.
We want to learn from as many people as we can. We're open-minded.
Yeah.
I want to learn from as many people as I can, but everybody has like different flavors, different things that they do, different pairs, you know, a little something different. If you can just learn one little thing from one different person, that's a winning my book.
Yeah. Agreed. All right.
Using zones. Yeah? Let's have a look. I'm going to have a quick gander at it. Mean down. Yeah, it looks like to me it's going to reach this recent low at 30,000. Looks like it's making play there now. So, yeah. Oh, the 10K up. Oh. So you short it at 40,000. Now it's like.
Awesome, Chris. Awesome. Nothing wrong with 10K. Nothing wrong with 10K.
Yeah. That's awesome, bro. Love it.
Work smart, not hard.
I mean, like 10K in the UK, that's like someone's wage like 6 months getting up like every morning at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Going to work.
For the majority of the world.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, like, some countries, like 20K might be a lot more. Yeah. Isn't the average wage in the US like $10, $15 an hour? Something like that?
Minimum wage here in Canada is $15 an hour.
Yeah. No one gets it right 10 out of 10. I mean, if we could get 10 out of 10, that would be awesome. But to be honest, it might be boring.
You're at 8 out of 10 at the moment? Yeah, but you guys say no one can get it right 10 out of 10. 8 out of 10 at the moment. So you're at an 80% win rate. There's nothing wrong with that. If you got a good risk reward, if you got proper money management, Chris, then you're laughing at 80% win.
80% is good. That's really good.
80% is excellent. 80% is excellent. You are exactly where you need to be right now at 80%. Did I talk about Jack Ma yesterday at during live session?
Jack Ma, the Alibaba.
Yeah, did I talk about him? I don't think so.
I mentioned him, and then you said, yeah, they're putting pressure on him, and he's
yeah,
like,
but
hiding, so,
I don't think I talked about him.
Didn't really go into detail, so yeah.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin's probably just making its way down to find some more support somewhere.
What's that link trading do? Is that your analysis on Bitcoin? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you shorted it at the blue zone, yeah?
Yeah. Kiwi.
I don't really look at Bitcoin daily, but have a look.
Okay, you're gonna see some weakness. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. There we go.
On your side, yeah?
Nice zone placement. Nice zone placement, Chris.
Yeah.
All right. 7 minutes. I'm going to be bringing in Morgan. Just going to grab my coffee now. Kettles.
summer sun, 2009. We were feeling high, and I got drunk for the first time. I thought I was cool. I was smooth in your eyes, tried to make up. It was all my time, the time of our lives. You were on my mind, my ride or die. It was all my time, the time of our lives. You were on my mind, my ride or die. You were on my mind, my ride or die. You were on my mind. Don't forget your first kiss. We were so damn high, we could touch the sky. Drunk on love, drunk on your lips. A feeling I will forever miss. And I got drunk for the first time. I thought I was cool. I thought I looked smooth in your eyes and tried to make up. It was all my time, the time of our lives. You were on my mind, my ride or die. It was all my time, the time of our lives. You were on my mind, my ride or die. Yeah. You were on my mind, my ride or die. Yeah. You were on my mind.
Hey. All right, Morgan. Two minutes, Morgan. We'll bring you in, buddy.
First love, we were young and wild, we were born.
Okay. Let's bring Morgan in. All right, Morgan, I'm going to ask to unmute you. There we go. Can you speak and then we can hear if you're...
Yeah, man.
There we go. There we go. Awesome, Morgan. How you doing, buddy?
Good on you guys. Good on you.
Doing good. Doing good. All right. I appreciate you volunteering for this. We're going to try to highlight one person every live session, so I appreciate that. Let's start off by this. Why don't you start telling us a little bit about yourself, a little your age, where you're from?
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm from South Africa. I'm originally from a place there called Limpopo.
Got it.
I reside now in Gauteng, which is like where all the big money moves and things happen.
Got it.
And I work as a software developer. I spend most of my time behind the screen. Don't really get to go outside that much. Got really hooked into trading. Believe it or not, I've blown 2 accounts, guys. Just trying the stuff by just doing the shortcuts and things like that. And I was really trading something that I didn't know, which was like NASDAQ and your USA indexes and things like that. So I just realized that I did need to go back and learn properly and follow good mentors out there.
Understood. Awesome. So let's take it back for a sec. Okay, so you're from South Africa. Whereabouts in South Africa? I was born there. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm from Limpopo, but I'm in Gauteng now. I don't know if you know Johannesburg.
I know Joburg relatively well. I know Limpopo. I don't know.
Oh, so where were you born?
I was born in Joburg, and
Joburg.
we
Oh,
lived in
okay.
Outlook area. But we moved here when I was 4. I moved to Canada when I was 4, so I didn't really grow up there. But
Oh,
awesome. So tell me a little bit. So how old are you again?
oh no, man, I'm 33.
You're 33, okay, and you started trading how long ago?
About like last year.
Awesome.
But
Okay.
then I wasn't really that much into it. I was still doing it with the demos last year, and this year I just decided, no, well, towards end of last year to this year, I just decided to start with real money, and I realized the market doesn't play.
No, the market does not play. You
Yeah, it
definitely
doesn't play, guys.
no. So
Yeah,
you blew an account like 99% of everybody out there, and then now you're starting to do it the right way, which is great.
yeah. So I also got my wife into it, and she's also learning. Yeah,
Awesome.
she
That's
also
great.
wants to play it as well.
So how
So
has learning FX, has learning the market like, has it been sometimes I found when I first started to learn the market, I started to see that I saw the world differently. When I watch news, when I read the newspapers, when I see
yeah,
things, I
yeah,
think of, even in real world scenarios, I think of like risk reward. I think of things like that. Do you feel the
yeah.
same way?
Yeah, no, the thing is, I did just start formally learning. So, I mean, I realized that fundamentals play a big part. Especially like I've been watching that whole Tesla move thing, and I saw that like US stuff was going up, the
Mm,
dollar was getting strong,
right.
So yeah, I realized that yeah, news does affect something, in the
Oh
market.
yeah, fundamentals
Yeah,
are absolutely. That's the one
yeah,
thing that when I first started trading, that's the one thing that slowed my growth, is the fact
yeah,
that I didn't take into account fundamentals just because I wasn't really necessarily into it. I started to get into the trading because I love the technical side of things. I love looking
yeah,
at the charts. I love trying to predict movement. But at the same time, I didn't like the fundamentals, but you can't have one without the other, right?
yeah, true.
It's like you can't really
But
have health without working out. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's no shortcut. So
No
can I
shortcut.
ask, like, why do you? I remember I asked you on Instagram, though, like, why you don't trade like indices, and if you have
Yeah,
experience.
like it's a good question. I'm a creature of habit, Morgan. I kind of
Yeah,
trade what works for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when something works for you, you don't really look elsewhere to change it, right? So
yeah,
I
true.
never got into the indexes. I never got into day trading the stock market, like in and out. So I buy and I hold, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
because I found success in what I'm doing, I've stuck in my lane.
yeah. And then, like, for us guys that are like, fully employed. I mean, I'm still working a 9 to 5, even though we're working from home.
Right.
Is there like a way, like, to just like escape the whole 9 to 5 routine, and sort of like, just deal with trading and live like a
Yeah.
life and
So
not
what you're
travel
doing
like.
right now is the way to do it, right? You are starting to do, you're joining a group, you have a mentor, you're starting to learn the right way of trading, you focus on that. So you have a job from 9 to 5, but you have, from, I'm sure you have, maybe you have obviously you have a wife, and maybe you have kids or something of that nature
Yeah,
that you need to spend time with. I do understand that there is life on the side, but
yeah,
maybe you spend from 5 to 7 p.m. On the
yeah,
markets, just again hammering down and learning and educating yourself, and then over time, slowly, like Jake, right, just slowly you get to the point where you start making more money trading, and
yeah.
you can comfortably reduce your hours at work, or if you are comfortable enough, you just quit, right?
Wow. So, yeah. Have you ever worked 9 to 5 and then?
No, I never worked a 9 to 5, but I did work a lot. So when I was a professional athlete, I know some of you don't consider it work, but for me it was a lot of work. We had two training sessions a day on our day off. You know what I mean? We would be traveling all the time. Like it wasn't a 9 to 5; it was a 12 to 12. But when I in between when I was younger, still I was a personal trainer when I was at that time when I was a professional athlete. So I was working a little bit here and there. Again, not a 9 to 5. I was making my own hours. I've never had that 9 to 5 job. I've always, after my hockey situation, I kind of always knew that I always wanted to be my own boss, and
Yeah.
and I just kind of never imagined working for anybody. Yeah,
Wow.
which is why I
So,
actually started to love the market, right? Which is why I gravitated towards it because
yeah.
because there's nobody telling you what to do. You're your own boss.
Well. Yeah, I can only imagine because
Yeah.
I just started my account, and I mean, after a couple of scams and also blowing accounts, I was like, I
Mhm.
finally managed to convince the wife, and I'm like, let me just try one more time,
Absolutely.
different mentors.
Well, Morgan, Jake and I are here to help you, buddy. So
Mhm.
question for you. Let's get to know you a little bit better. Like, what are some of your hobbies? What is your 9 to 5 job? If you don't mind me asking, feel free, to answer or to say
Yeah,
whatever you feel
yeah.
comfortable saying.
So yeah, my hobbies are, I like gaming a lot. I'm into Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
Really gotten the latest one, but yeah, I'm heavily into Mortal Kombat, NBA 2K20. I love that.
There
Uh, I play a bit of FIFA every now and then.
we go.
Yeah, at school I played basketball. It's not so big in South Africa, so as big as it is in like United States and Canada and everywhere. But yeah, I played it for a little bit. Played for my province. Yeah, and then I stopped there, and then just came to Johannesburg and started studying for like computer science and informatics,
Yeah.
and then eventually I just like started a whole 9 to 5 with the software development house. So I built like mobile apps, websites, yeah, a whole lot of technology stuff I work
Good for
with.
you.
And yeah, I'm pretty much chilled and spending time with my family over the weekend, or walking dogs. Yeah,
Awesome. Good
yeah,
for you, man. That sounds awesome. I'm with you on the. I don't get to get a game as much as I would like. I usually just right now I'm playing like if I am gaming, I'm playing Call of Duty. Um,
nah,
but I do love sports. I was very good at FIFA. I haven't played in a few years, but I used to be. I used
oh
to
wow, wow.
dominate
We should
dominate
have
FIFA.
an online
Oh,
match
we
sometime.
will, man. We will. Don't you worry. I'm gonna go. We'll go head to head with all the members that game. We'll figure out
Yeah,
who's the best gamer out of all the members. That's for sure. I
yeah.
bet you. I
Please
bet you
promise,
it's not me.
please promise not to delete my account if I beat you in FIFA, though. Eh?
If I beat you in
I
FIFA,
still need to learn.
if I beat
Yeah,
you in FIFA, I'll delete my account so that I never play again.
yeah. Maybe I should bet like 10 lots or something.
That's awesome. Okay, well,
Yeah,
Morgan, that was it was a pleasure, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us. Let
sure,
me know if you have any questions. Obviously, Jake is here for you. I'm here for you, just like all the other
sure,
members. Okay.
sure.
We are starting our live session in 20 minutes, team.
Nice,
Thanks,
nice.
Morgan.
Thanks for having me,
Of
guys.
course, buddy.
Looking forward to working with you guys.
Looking
All
forward
right,
to it as
well,
well.
nice to meet you.
Chat soon, buddy. Bye.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, Morgan. Appreciate that. It's good to get to know. It's good to get to know members, and it's nice to we have members from all over the world. I think 46 countries around the world. So South Africa. Next person's from the UK. One person's from the US, Canada. It's pretty awesome to see how people live and what they do. And I think, you know, it's good to know that everybody here is on this is in the same boat, meaning we all want the same thing. We all want to succeed in this game, and we all are going to with time. Okay, just all in the same boat. We're all a team. Okay, couple 20 minutes, and then we're gonna hop onto the FXG live session. Okay, team. So now I'm just gonna spend the 20 minutes to do final preps. Okay. All right. Let me know if anybody wants to be tomorrow, who we're gonna, or on Monday, who we're gonna interview on Monday. If you would like to be the person, let me know.
No live stream tomorrow.
Monday to Thursdays. You'll be live streaming Fridays though too. All right. Sahal, Nick, Morgan, Manu, Kai, Joe, JJ, Jamie, Hector, Chris, Jake. Thanks, guys, for being with us today. Pre-live. Okay.
I've been waiting all my life for someone like you. How would watch the days go by, wasting blue. I was out of use. Now every day, every night, every moment with you. I'm walking on air, and every day, every way, I feel like I can't lose. I wanna shout it out, ain't no limit. I wanna shout it out to the world. You got me all world up, got me
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
crazy for love, crazy for love, crazy for love, crazy for love. Whenever life's landed down, you know what to do. There's no mountain I will
I think we found the playlist. I think we found the playlist.
What is it? What's this one?
Hi, Eddie. Or Ed, I should say. I know your Y is the last name, I think. Okay. Let's see if the follow-up's decent. Already, I
know what
don't.
happens though. You know, we get a really good one and a terrible one.
Already, I don't like it. It's like it's not even on. Yeah, I hate when you press a song play and the song doesn't start until like 30 seconds in.
It's not too bad.
No, not bad. No problem.
dreams like this. Don't wanna settle down, don't wanna miss out on adventures, things we haven't seen. Take my hand, follow me. Baby, we're leaving midnight. It's time for a change, let's get out of here. We'll never look back, this is our time. We're leaving at midnight, leaving at midnight. Hands up, such a rush. I love having you here with me. To dream big is no sin. The sky has no limit, yeah, we're free. We count too small for dreams like this. Don't wanna settle down, don't wanna miss out on adventures, things we haven't seen. Take my hand, follow me. Baby, we're leaving midnight. It's time for a change, let's get out of here. We'll never look back, this is our time. We're leaving at midnight, leaving at midnight. Baby, we're leaving midnight. It's time for
Alrighty.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio.
Start in 4 minutes.
I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, no, we round the show. Let's get loud, come on, let's go. Got to live or we get too old. Come on, shine, shine a little tonight. Let's get loud, come on, let's control. No limit when we go football. We can shine, shine a little tonight. Shine a little tonight.
All right. Be right back. We get going.
Let's hit the club, time to make a move. We got it late, ain't got nothing to prove. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, going round the show.
Alrighty. You know what? Let's keep it dark in here. Darker the better. For right now. Alright, team. Okay. Just 1 or 2 minutes for everybody to join who's a little late, and then we will roll. All right. Okay. We will get going. Awesome team. All right, 8:02 a.m. here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I want to thank all of you who are joining me for today's live and who have been joining me for the past 2 hours with Jake, just trading. Starting Monday, Jake at, this will be Eastern time then, okay? I'll say Eastern time. 3 a.m. Eastern time, Jake will begin trading live. At 9 a.m. Eastern time, I will be joining him, okay? 6 a.m. Pacific time, my time, all right? And then from there, we will trade together or be together for 2 hours. Hopefully, we'll find some entries. Sometimes we won't, okay? It depends, of course. Most of the entries will happen between 2 to 4 a.m. my time, okay, when Jake is up, all right? And then for the lower time frame at least, okay? And then we move forward. We're just trying to add some value here, get to know people. Today we got to know Morgan, which was quite nice, okay? Yeah, thank you for those of you who have joined us. That's great. So we're going to get into today's live session, okay? So what are we doing? Fundamentals first. Okay, Aussie's a positive 2.2. A lot of strength in the Australian dollar. There's a positive upbeat going around in general. You add that and you mix that in with what? With positive COVID, with the fact that their economy has been running like usual, okay? Australian dollar has got a positive 2.2. Also good numbers, okay? Bitcoin has weakened to a positive 2.2. Remember, it was at a positive 8-ish area for quite some time. And now it's not, all right? And the reason why is due to the fact that, well, Bitcoin is breaking beneath areas of support, all right? Nick today was telling us that he's been making good money, 10K or so, shorting Bitcoin, which is great, and doing zones by seeing when price breaks one level of zone, it's got free range to its next level. So, sorry, Chris. All right. Not Nick, my bad. Chris did, okay? So good for you, Chris. Awesome. All right. Bitcoin, why are we seeing weakness on Bitcoin? Okay, well, I think it's just because there's general positivity elsewhere, meaning liquidity is going to take place. People are going to cash in their profits. They're going to put in money elsewhere. Okay, Bitcoin got its original initial spike when people literally thought the world was going to shit, meaning a collapse. Okay, so well done, Chris. Okay. Bitcoin, yeah, weakness on Bitcoin, just so you're aware. CAD, positive 2.1. Why is the Canadian dollar seeing strength? Again, it comes down to, first off, positive numbers. COVID numbers are going down in terms of new cases. Okay, we have vaccines that are starting to roll out into the east coast of Canada, where it's worse than on the west coast. All right, we have OPEC Plus announcing continuous reduction in oil. We have Saudi Arabia actually committing to that reduction in oil, all right, which could cause an issue, right? Because if Saudi Arabia is producing more than they committed to, so will Russia, so will everybody else, so will Iran. You get where I'm going? So that's nice. Canadian dollar seeing strength. Also, again, positive outlook. People believe that oil will be used more than it is now, and it's not just driving, okay? It is manufacturing, shipping, imports, everything you wear, the clothing you wear, the computers you have, everything has to do with crude oil. Everything is made from that. Everything is shipped, delivered from that. Okay, it's not just you driving your car. Canadian dollar is seeing a positive 2.1, which is quite strong considering the Aussie's only at a positive 2.2, right? So pound is at a positive 1.1. Again, general upbeat. Okay, vaccines. What's going on? With the UK, what they're doing extremely well compared to everybody else is that their vaccine rollout is doing quite well. Okay, like again, here in Canada, they're not doing well at all. The US, apparently Trump never even really had a plan for the rollout. In Canada, our doctors don't even have, are not even vaccinated yet. Okay, Kiwis at a positive 0.8. Again, Kiwi is going to get pulled and dragged most of the time by the Australian dollar. Again, unless there is some isolated event, the Kiwi will follow the Aussie into positive range and into negative range. But because Australia in general is a bigger economy, okay, it'll be more positive or more negative depending on fundamental outlook. Swiss franc is at a negative 0.1. Okay, Swiss franc is interesting. I think it's going to range for a little bit. The reason why I think it's going to range is due to the fact that, well, whenever there's positive upbeat, there's weakening. Whenever there's not, there's a strengthening. Now, are we out in terms of the COVID situation? Absolutely not. Okay, we know that there's a ton of spikes in numbers. We know that hospitals and healthcare systems are getting crushed. We know that there's a tremendous amount of deaths still. There's a new variant of COVID. So what do we believe? Do we believe that the Swiss franc will gain strength or weakness for the long term? No, there's going to be a lot of fluctuations because the news is consistently changing. Okay, so we have to be aware of that. And in terms of the yen as well, right? The yen is currently at a negative 1.9. Okay, so the Swiss franc and the yen, as we know right now, are the only pairs, other than of course actual precious metals, that are acting as safe haven status right now. So we have to be aware of that. Okay, euro is at a negative 0.7. The euro is seeing some sort of strength. I think yesterday the euro was at what? The euro was at a negative 2.2. Okay, so the euro is at a negative 0.7. The euro is seeing strength. Why is that? Because the ECB, Lagarde, came out with some statements, and she said we have a positive upbeat. We're going to keep interest rates the same. Which is at a 0.5%, I believe, which is extremely low. Okay, and we're here to continuously provide stimulus, which makes people feel more confident. Okay, upbeat. All right, gold is at a negative 3.1. Guys, remember, gold is a safe haven. All right, so gold made its way to 2,000 an ounce when everything else was hurting, right? When the virus was spreading and people were just finding out about this and we didn't really know what was going on, gold shot up to new highs. All right, so gold is not weakened to where it was pre-COVID, but we have to keep in mind, what is gold going to do? Is it going to make its way up to 2,000 an ounce? Probably not. Why? Because, well, that's where it was when things were really bad. Now we're not as bad. We know more about COVID. We have a vaccine coming out. We have, general more positive outlook. All right, so we don't necessarily believe that gold's going to strengthen, right? We believe it's going to weaken. So I believe that the long-term outlook in gold, unless something changes, of course, like there's a new announcement that there's another COVID that we don't have a vaccine for, then gold is going to start to weaken in the long term. All right, USD is seeing a negative 4.9. Yesterday was at a negative 3.9. Quite interesting. I do believe that in the long term, the fundamental direction will strengthen. I don't believe that the USD will see this type of weakness. There's too much value, too much stimulus coming into the market, too much support coming into the market with the Biden administration. Okay, they're very much there to help in this process, I believe. Okay, again, you don't know with politicians, but that's what the market believes. I do believe long term, again, we will see some strength. But at the moment, when we're analyzing our short-term direction, the USD is at a negative 4.9. Okay, what else is going on? Okay, Kiwi. We have the only real announcement we have to be careful of today is New Zealand Consumer Price Index. It's the only red flag announcement. All right. So if we are into any Kiwi pairs, which there are not going to be many, okay, that you'll see, we have to keep that in mind. Now, just a question for you here, some critical thinking, okay? When we know that whenever we pair currencies together, if the first currency is stronger, price goes up. If it's weaker, it goes down. So what's the metaphor I use for this, right? The metaphor I use for this is, well, we have to be aware of the fighters, right? If you are a fan of boxing or the UFC or sports in general, whenever you have a good fighter matched up against a weak fighter, that's where you want to bet, right? You want to bet on the good fighter against the weak fighter. And how do we know? We know based on fundamental strength. Who's the stronger one? Who's the weaker one, right? We don't necessarily want to bet when there's two strong fighters, because then which direction or who wins can go either way, right? So, for example, this is my question for you. Aussie right now is at a positive 2.2. The Canadian dollar is at a positive 2.1. All right. The Kiwi's at a positive 0.8. Are we looking to enter Aussie CAD, Aussie Kiwi, or Aussie Pound? Or would we rather enter Aussie Euro, Aussie Yen, Aussie USD, where you have a good fighter paired against a bad fighter? We need flow. We need direction, right? And vice versa. USD CAD, right? Would we want to enter CAD Kiwi? No, they're two good fighters. Would we want to enter CAD USD or USD CAD? Yes, because there's direction, there's separation. All right. So this is a powerful thing about doing our fundamental analysis. Is we kind of, again, in the beginning of the week, we do all our analysis. Fundamentals over time change, and then that list starts to narrow down, and we get to the high probability ones. Okay. All right. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is sparking alarms. The FXG team, like the people in the back end, we used to communicate on WhatsApp. We're now communicating on Telegram. Again, FYI. I'm waiting for the updates that are coming. I believe me, I'm with you guys any minute. It could be any time. And once that update comes, the Team FXG will have its Telegram channel. Okay, the members. All right. And what's going on with WhatsApp? They changed their privacy policy. A lot of Telegram over the past 48 hours had 22 million new users and accounts. And then there's another competitor called Signal. Okay, now this just goes to my Facebook thing. Okay, again, Facebook owns Instagram, they own WhatsApp. Okay, when you're investing in a company, you want to invest in a good leader. I don't think Zuckerberg has got it anymore. I don't think he's got it. Instagram is shitting the bed. WhatsApp has lost not half its users. WhatsApp has lost a lot of users to Telegram, and eventually people are going to see that it's better. They're not innovating. They're not coming up. It seems like most of Facebook's, R&D is going into actually just legal fees to keep them out of shit. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Facebook, not a fan of what they're doing. They're losing WhatsApp now. Okay, they're losing Instagram as well to TikTok and to other social platforms. Facebook itself as a platform, like who actually, like in Canada, nobody actually uses really Facebook. It's not something you really go on anymore. Okay, so in my opinion, Facebook is hurting, and I'm not a fan of the leadership there. All right, Jack Ma. What the hell is going on with Jack Ma, right? You had a situation this past week or this past couple of weeks where he was MIA. Nobody saw Jack Ma because he has another company. He owns Alibaba, and he had another company going public called the Ant Group. And the Ant Group, prior to going public, the day of, was prosecuted by the Chinese financial organization or whatever it is in terms of his financial documents. But what's funny about that is only 2 days prior, he did an interview where then he was critical of the Chinese government. Now, again, I love Chinese people. I have a lot of Chinese friends, but the Chinese people will tell you that China is pretty as much as damn close to a communist country as you can get. Russia and China are 2021 versions of communist countries. You cannot be against the government. There is no freedom of speech. So what happened was Jack Ma was critical. Then he went MIA. People started to believe, hey, maybe he's dead. Stock started to drop a little bit. As you saw, Alibaba stock started to just consolidate because people were like, if Jack's dead, the stock's going to tank. Okay, if it, blah 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 is up. Okay, we don't know with China. All right, so after the news started to come out with articles, where's Jack Ma? Where's this? Where's that? He probably got the thumbs up from the Chinese government to come out and say, hey, I'm alive, so this doesn't snowball into something ridiculous. Okay, so I just find it funny that as soon as the internet, as soon as the news media starts to pick up, hey, where's Jack Ma? He makes his appearance. It's not that he wasn't. It's not like he went from making appearance every day to silent for 2 months because he wanted it. Okay, it's the government, the Chinese government. Okay, they are pretty much as communist as you can get, them in Russia. All right, so that is it for right now in terms of pre-analysis. Okay, so when we get to the charts now, we're getting close to entry on a few pairs. Now we're gonna nail it down and see how price is moving. And there's a lot of information that's been coming about over the last few hours in the market, and we're gonna talk about that in a second here. Okay, so let's share the screen now and get going. All right. And I got the board working. Yesterday it was not. Today it is. All right. Okay, so first pair we're going to talk about is Euro CAD. Now, what do we know? Fundamentally, okay, the Euro is at a negative 0.7, but gaining strength. The CAD is also at a positive 2.1 and also gaining strength. But our short-term fundamental direction is to the downside because the Euro is weaker than the CAD. What about our long-term direction? I would say flat, also slightly to the downside because the Euro is going to gain strength with optimism. Optimism will also help the price of crude oil, which will also help the price of the Canadian dollar. Okay, so in my opinion, that's a scenario. All right, so I believe that we are going to see a continuational move to the downside, but we have to keep in mind what? That Canadian dollar is seeing a ton of strength, that the Euro is also seeing more strength. Canadian dollar is seeing a ton of strength, Euro is gaining strength. Okay, so monthly time frame, monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower. Here's what? Higher time frame downtrend with lower lows. Okay, if you don't know how to watch, if you don't know how to place the zones, please watch our workshop on zones or go to FXGU and watch zone placement. Okay, so what are we looking for here? We see a push, exhaustion, continuational push, reinjection of sell pressure, protecting our monthly zone. To the upside, we know that price, no matter what fundamentals say at the moment, is not going to be able to break our monthly zone. There's going to be a tremendous amount of sell pressure. Now, as fundamentals have shifted, we're seeing sell pressure actually push to beat buy pressure at our weekly upper back to the downside. Okay, so as we go to the weekly time frame, what do we know? What can we expect now? Let's do some critical thinking, right, team? What can we expect? We can expect that, okay, what's happening? The Euro is gaining strength. Yesterday was at a negative 2.2. Today it was at a negative 0.7, right? We have positive outlooks. ECB just spoke. Maybe tomorrow we're at a positive 1.1. Who knows? The Euro is strengthening. So what can we expect here? Sell pressure is meeting buy pressure at our weekly upper zone. We can expect that we're going to see some sort of impulse move to the upside, right? So even though, because yesterday, think about this, yesterday, right, and the day before that, we had CAD was seeing a tremendous amount of sell support, and that's because the Canadian dollar was stronger than the Euro. The Euro was at the negative 2 to negative 3 range, okay? So what does that mean? Does that mean even though we have a bearish engulfing candle here, which is a lower time frame push, does that mean we'll likely see price action confirmation at completion of exhaustion? Probably not, right? Because again, the Euro is gaining strength. Okay, so again, critical thinking comes in, understanding the market rather than just trading based on memory. Okay, so we are seeing some sell pressure here. That's from previous low. Okay, in my opinion, we're still breaking back to the upside. Again, Euro is gaining strength. Canadian dollar is staying flat. So with the news as well, with the ECB and what they're saying, I believe we're making our way back to the upside. Okay, so what would this be on the higher time frame? That would just be a pin bar, right? Lower time frame stop hunt, higher time frame pin bar. So again, it comes down to understanding fundamentals. Are we going to what? Are we going to look to enter on Euro CAD? Or would we rather match a weak fighter and a strong fighter, find a direction and bet in that direction, right? Exactly. All right. And one more thing I want to talk about quickly here and why I love the FX market. Okay. So for anybody who is new, or for those of you who have parents or aunts or what else that say trading is gambling. Okay. Well, trading can be gambling if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. But what we are doing here is putting the odds in our favor. And I really want to make this clear and drill this into you quickly, okay? When you know what you're doing, when you're trading with knowledge rather than memory, when you're doing proper risk reward ratio, meaning a minimum 1 to 2 risk reward, minimum, and many times we're more. So even if you're 50% correct, you're still winning. Okay? All right? Proper money management, proper analysis, proper entry, okay? Proper fundamental direction. You are now the casino. You are not the gambler. And what do I mean by that? Well, you look at any casino game, okay? And they, it's all about the odds, right? It's all about math. That's why we I never adjust beneath a 1 to 2 risk reward unless it's some minor break of the rule for some real important reason that adds value to our trade. Okay, but for most part, we never break our rule in terms of a 1 to 2 risk reward. So when you go to casino and you play blackjack, okay, imagine like the odds are not in your favor. Why? Because there's a certain, for example, it's just not. It's if you can go over, the dealer doesn't. Or if you play baccarat, right? I think if you place it on the buy side, you even if you win, you never get paid out a 1 to 1. It's like a 1 to 4. They're trying to make the odds in their favor. So risk reward turns the odds into our favor. But maybe a better metaphor would be, for example, sports betting. For any of you that are familiar with sports betting, if you have a situation where you have a good team paired against a bad team, you're never betting on who's going to win, or else the bookies would lose every time. It's about the spread. It's called a spread. So, for example, if Team X is much better than Team Y, and Team X is playing Team Y, the casinos will say, you don't bet that Team X beats Team Y. That's not the bet because everybody would win. The bet is by how much. Team X needs to beat Team Y by 3 goals, for example, for then you to win. So by adding those 3 goals or that spread, that's how they turn the odds into their favor. So what if I told you that you could go to a casino and place a bet on a game, and you don't have to worry about the spread? Meaning, you can literally bet on which you can find a team, a good team that's playing a bad team, and just bet on who's going to win. That's what we're doing here, right? The FX market is telling us fundamentally the Australian dollar is the best team right now. The US dollar is the worst team right now. So if we pair up Aussie versus the USD, we can safely assume that the Australian dollar is going to move to the upside, and we don't have to play the spread. It's not like the brokers are telling us, okay, because the Aussie is much better than the USD, we're actually going to give you a 30 pip spread to cover. Okay, so I hope you understand why it's so great, because you can actually find a good team versus a bad team and bet on who's going to win rather than actually having them manipulate the odds to be on their favor. FX is not gambling, okay? It is gambling if you don't know what you're doing. You are the casino if you do know what you're doing, okay? So EuroCAD, there's 2 good teams right now. We'd rather find something else. This is not ideal for us, okay? So EuroCAD's off the list, whereas in the beginning of the week it was on, okay? As you can see, we start to narrow down. We start to see what is more high probability, all right? Euro Aussie on the monthly time frame. Okay. Now, Euro is at a negative 0.7. Australian dollar is at a positive 2.2. Euro is a weaker team than the Australian dollar. Our short-term direction is to the downside, and our long-term direction also likely to the downside. Because even when Euro starts to strengthen, even when positive outlook is strengthening, that will help the Australian dollar. Because other than Asia, Australia's biggest trade partners are Europe and the UK, right? So I believe our long-term direction is also to the downside. Monthly upper, monthly mids, monthly lower zone. Okay, let's zoom it in here. All right. What we'll do here, because price has been trading for quite some time, we'll call this a monthly upper, monthly lower. Okay, so COVID came out, Euro spiked because COVID came out in Asia, which affected the Aussie economy. Then COVID started to spread around the world and things started to normalize. Sell pressure pushed right back down. Okay, what can we see here? We see consolidation in between our weekly mid-range zone and our monthly zone. We see horizontal sell pressure, meaning horizontal buy pressure, okay? What's happening here? Sell pressure said, no, we're making a push to the downside. Why? Because they had air support. They had fundamental support to the downside, all right? So what are we waiting for? Push. What? Exhaustion, price action, entry confirmation for a continuational push to the downside, because we believe that the euro will be the weaker team for quite some time. All right. So there's still some time until this plays out. Okay. So just keep this on the list, but that doesn't have to be an open chart at the moment. All right. Euro yen. Okay. So euro is at a negative 0.7. Okay. Yen is at a negative 1.9. We know that the euro is likely going to strengthen. So first off, we have to identify short-term direction, right? Our short-term fundamental direction is what is happening now. And that is, it's to the upside, okay? What about our long-term direction? Well, we know that what? That the yen is a safe haven status, meaning that it will weaken as positivity starts to increase. What about the euro? The euro will increase as positivity starts to increase, plus the ECB and what they're talking about. So for our long-term direction, okay, we know that it'll likely also be to the upside as the euro continues to strengthen and the yen stays flat or weakens as the world's positive outlook begins to increase, okay? So monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower. All right, here we have lower lows. So we identified a higher time frame downtrend. Okay, and we'll take it to the weekly time frame. And on the weekly, monthly time frames, guys, you're just trying to figure out what the fuck is price telling you. Okay, finish a sentence for me, right? This is a metaphor I use all the time. Roses are red, finish it. That's right. Violets are blue, right? History gives us the best understanding of what the future is going to say. Okay, so that's why we talk about flow. And that's what you're doing on the monthly and the weekly time frame. Again, push, exhaustion, push, exhaustion, push. What do we know? Extreme amount of sell pressure at our weekly upper zone, as expected. Now, what about fundamental direction, right? Well, we had a strong move to the downside. Why is that? Is it because the yen was so strong compared to the euro? No, we know it's not fundamentally stronger than the euro. We know it's not. This move to the downside is caused by what? A nice strong injection of sell support from our weekly zone. Okay, a nice injection of sell support from our weekly zone. This is a real test. You can even say this is a higher time frame impulse. I wouldn't correct you if you said that. Okay, so what's happening? We identified area sensitivity. Okay, as you can see, we know that there's a lot of information that is given to us when there's no exhaustion. What do I mean? Here we have a higher time frame push. Price should come back for a higher time frame exhaustion, right? Let me show you a little bit better on that so it's not confusing. So we have a downtrend here, correct? Lower lows. Price makes a push. The play then is exhaustion to area sensitivity, wherever that is, okay? And then continuational move. But the information that is given when price makes an extension of this kind and then fails to come back for exhaustion, it tells us there's a tremendous amount of buy pressure, and many times that will equate to what's called consolidation. Okay, horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure. What this is fundamental just support, right? We have sell pressure saying, okay, guys, we're extended, right? It's time to come back for exhaustion. Buy pressure saying, no. We're not coming back for exhaustion. Eventually, price broke and reached what? Its weekly upper zone. Why could we safely assume that that was going to happen rather than a move to the downside? Again, price is telling us, look at the buy pressure. Also, we have fundamental direction to the upside. That's why the previous history is telling us the future movement. So, for example, let's make sense of this right now. What are you talking about, Dave? What is this metaphor? Well, let's talk about this, right? Okay, so at this point, we see a push to the upside, and we don't know whether price is going to come back and make a full exhaustion, okay? At this point, we don't know, and these zones are not placed, all right? So let's move forward. All right, now I'm seeing buy support. Now I'm seeing sell support, buy support again. So at this point, I'm placing consolidation. And now I'm getting some information. Price is telling me here, okay, Dave, what is the history? What is the book telling us? All right, fundamentals are to the upside. We made a strong push breaking the downtrend. We have buy pressure keeping horizontal support to the upside. So what is the highest probability chance in terms of a directional break? Are we breaking to the upside to our weekly, or are we coming back down for exhaustion? Probably to the upside. We have fundamental support. We have buy pressure showing multiple levels of support on a horizontal level after an extended push. So this is like, what is that saying? This information is, okay, one more time. This is like, David, roses are red. So we know violets are, finish the sentence. We know violets are blue. Boom. Break to the upside. Move to our weekly before seeing sell pressure. Okay? How can we predict that? How do we know that? Because the market is telling us. The market is telling us. Okay? That is why. All right? So what's happening here? Again, we know that there's a test. Okay? We know that there's a test to the upside, and boom, we're seeing sell pressure. Could also be higher time frame exhaustion now, or a higher time frame impulse to the downside. Now, what's interesting about this is the respect for our lower zone is becoming less and less. Okay, we have euro breaking to the downside, back to the upside. So here's a push, exhaustion. Do we see price action, entry confirmation? Absolutely not. Price broke back to the upside. This created a stop hunt. Higher time frame pin bar. What's happening now? Price back to the downside. Exhaustion. Let's think about this. Okay? What are we going to see here? Roses are red. And what is roses are red? What's the information that roses are red that we get? Well, the euro is matched against the yen. Okay? The euro is currently at a negative 0.7 and is getting stronger. The yen is at a negative 1.9 and will remain flat as it is a safe haven status as the optimism increases. So it could remain flat or move slightly to the downside. So who's got air support? The euro has air support, meaning what? That is buy pressure. So I guess I should ask you this. Roses are red, violets are blue. What is the finish to the sentence? What is the violets are blue? Is the violets blue? Are we moving to the downside? Push, exhaustion, continuational push? No, we're not, right? Because we know fundamental pressures to the upside. Euro has air support. Euro is gaining strength. Euro is going to likely beat the yen, breaking right back above. So it wouldn't make sense to finish the sentence with a continuational push to the downside. It makes sense to finish the sentence with a move back to the upside. Okay? So euro yen, based on what the market is telling me and what I'm reading, is that we have a potential move back to the upside. So once price breaks this level, we're going to be looking for free range back to our next level, upper level of previous consolidation. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Okay, now on to Aussie CAD. So before we go to Aussie CAD, a little critical thinking here. Okay, let's think about this. We don't even want to go, we're not even on the charts yet, okay, team? So I want you to visualize what's happening right now on the 1 hour and 4H time frame. Just visualize. I know it sounds like a stupid question, but think deeper. Why is David asking this? And what information can I take to actually come up with maybe an answer? All right, well, let's think about this. Aussie is a positive 2.2. Canadian dollar is a positive 2.1 and gaining strength. We have two good fighters. Are we going to look for an entry here? Probably not. Are we going to find any sort of flow on the lower time frame? Any directional movement? Probably not. Because we have two good fighters, we're probably going to see some sort of battle, maybe some sort of consolidation. But we're not going to see directional movement. All right? So based on just the numbers, you can already assume what you're going to see. Okay, so here we take it to Aussie CAD. Let me share the screen. All right. Monthly time frame. Okay, we're always going to do the monthly. Okay, always start on the monthly no matter what. So Aussie CAD, we have a positive 2.2. We have a positive 2.1. Short-term direction is flat. Long-term direction is flat. We cannot guess here. Okay. So why are we seeing such a strong move to the upside? Because it wasn't the case that the Canadian dollar was strong. Remember, all this positive news that's giving the Canadian dollar strength is just recent news. So the fact that we're seeing such a strong move to the upside is the reason is because the Aussie had always had much more strength than the Canadian dollar for quite some time. Okay, so let's talk about our flow here. Remember, monthly time frame. Monthly upper, monthly mids, monthly lower. Okay, we have what? Push to the upside with the failure of an impulse move telling us tremendous buy pressure. Exhaustion, continuational move. Question is price going to come back for exhaustion before continuational play? Potentially now. Why? Why can we say potentially that price is going to come back now for exhaustion before, whereas last week we could maybe say that buy pressure was going to beat sell pressure? Because the sell pressure is now stronger. The Canadian dollar, that army of Canadian dollars against the Aussie, is stronger than it was. So if we consider it like a battle, we know that the Canadian dollar had reinforcements at area of significant sensitivity. So again, push, exhaustion, push. Okay, so roses are red. What's the finish here? Violets are blue? Or is this the violets are blue? Or I should say more like this. So let's change the color. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Or is this the finish to the sentence? You tell me. Exactly. This would be the finish to the sentence. Why? Because we know that this is a monthly area sensitivity. Even with fundamental support, even with air support, buy pressure has a hard time beating sell pressure at an area of significance. Okay? So, now that we know that fundamentals are flat, now that we know that the Canadian dollar is gaining strength, meaning that sell pressure, that army of sell pressure is seeing reinforcements, the finish to the sentence would be violets are blue. Back to the downside before then a reinjection of buy pressure. Maybe we hit consolidation if there's no fundamental direction. All right? So when we take it now to the daily time frame, okay, what can we expect? All right? Here we're seeing what? Push, impulse move, retest, failure to break previous high back to the downside. Again, reinjection of sell support. Now, last week we identified this downtrend, correct? We said, look, we have lower lows, but we have stop hunts, right? Lower time frame stop hunts are higher time frame pin bars. Buy pressure pushing to the upside, exhaustion back to the downside. This is why winners enter at price action and entry confirmation at completion of exhaustion. Then we have a push to the upside, sell pressure back to the downside. Push to the upside. What's going to happen here? Roses are red. Violets are blue. We know there's going to be another stop hunt. What does that look like on the higher time frame? That looks like pin bar, correct? Boom, boom, boom. Okay? So, we can safely assume that what? Price is going to create another stop hunt, make its way to previous low, potentially break to the downside for what? Exhaustion before a potential continuational push, because we now know that buy pressure does not have enough air support, aka fundamental support, to break this monthly zone to the upside. So the only way, especially with short-term and long-term direction being flat, is to the downside. Okay? So this analysis that we have to the upside, this long-term entry, it doesn't mean that it's invalid. It just means that it's going to be a while till it plays out, because we can now safely assume price is going to move to the downside. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that we enter to the downside? No, we do not. We need fundamental direction. There's better places to put our money if we don't have any sort of direction. We'd rather put our liquidity somewhere else. We're not moving to the downside because we don't have short-term or long-term fundamental direction to the downside. We're not moving to the upside because we don't have either of those. Plus, we're also reaching an area of significant sell pressure. So, Aussie CAD, until fundamental direction comes into play, we are staying out of this pair. Now, we did Aussie CAD. What about Aussie USD? We have a strong fighter paired against a weak fighter. The Australian dollar is a positive 2.2 and the USD is at a negative 4.9. What are we going to see? Are we going to see ranging like this, right? As you can see here on the 4H time frame, we see what? Ranging, right? Because fundamental direction is flat. Are we going to see that on Aussie USD? Probably not, right? It's a good fighter paired against a bad fighter. And that's why we're seeing movement like we are here. Okay, there is no flat movement. Okay, so let's do our analysis again, always from the monthly, no matter what. Okay, monthly time frame. Okay, here's our monthly upper, monthly mid, monthly lower. But due to the fact that price hasn't traded up here for a while, let's just assume that this is our monthly upper, monthly lower. Okay, so monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower, making this what? Our daily mid range. That's right, you got it. Okay, so only on the monthly time frame. Who has air support? Who has air support? Australian dollar. Push, exhaustion, push. What's going to happen next? Buy pressure likely going to break and make its way free range to the monthly zone. We're only on our monthly time frame, and we already finished the story. Now it's up to us to enter properly. Okay? So, weekly time frame. What do we do? Now remember Aussie CAD. Remember price buy pressure was reaching area of sell pressure on Aussie CAD, and we expected the end of the sentence to be a move back to the downside. Do we expect the same with Aussie USD? Absolutely not. Why? Because the Australian dollar is just a much better team than the US dollar at the moment. Australian dollar also has air support. Okay, so we know that fundamental supports to the upside. We know that buy pressure is starting to break and beat the sell pressure at our weekly upper zone, meaning that assuming fundamentals stay the same, we have free range to where? Our monthly upper, correct? Boom. All right. So when we take it to the daily time frame, we can see what? What's the information when price fails to come back for exhaustion? Here's a push. We reach area sensitivity. There should be an exhaustion. But what's the information we get when it fails to do so? That there's a continuous amount of buy pressure. So remember the example we had earlier with consolidation. Roses are red. What's the finish to the sentence? Is it going to be violets or blue? Or is it going to be violets or blue? That's right. Finish the sentence. Is that gambling to you? Proper risk reward, proper analysis. There is no broker or there is no bank, casino trying to even out the odds with crazy spreads in between. You find the weak pair or the strong pair. You pair it against the weak and the strong. You find the direction, you enter in the direction. Proper risk reward, minimum 2-to-1 risk, and you are the casino. Okay? So, what are we waiting for here? All right? When we take it to the 4H time frame, we identify mid-range area sensitivity. Boom. This is what? Something I deleted by accident. I shouldn't have, but as you can see, this is an area of sensitivity. This is our mid-range zone. Upper, mid, lower. So what's happening now, and the reason why we're starting to place these zones, is because we're now looking for entry. So let's think about this, okay? Simplify the complicated. That's your fucking job. That's it, okay? Push, exhaustion, buy pressures, not letting price come back for exhaustion. Fundamental direction short-term to the upside. Fundamental long-term to the upside. We have upper zone, mid-range zone, lower zone. We're looking here, okay, at the 1 hour, at the 4H time frame, and what's happening? Buy pressure broke with fundamental support, our mid-range zone to the upside. That's a push. What's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside, telling us that we are looking for a continuational move. Okay, what's great with our SL? We're below consolidation. So even if, okay, Even if price starts to come back for full consolidation range, our SL is protected by the buy pressure at previous low. Okay, again, increasing your odds by doing the proper analysis. All right, so we're on the 1 hour time frame now, and we're looking for what? Entry to the upside, correct? So what are we going to look for? Here's that push, here's exhaustion. Now let's start to talk about entry. Okay, let's talk about entry. Let's move these over for a sec. Even a little bit more. All right. So, what do we know about pushes and exhaustions? And we've talked about this before, but if you're new, I'm going to explain a little bit more. Whenever price is coming, after a push to the upside or to the downside, doesn't really matter. You can tell a lot of information based on how price comes back. Is it coming back hard? If so, we require double confirmation. Is it coming back soft with waves? If so, maybe just price action confirmation is fine. In this case, you have some sort of wave patterns telling us that buy pressure is itchy to enter the market, telling us that it's not just one. Remember, we see this all the time. Exhaustions that are just like 1 and 2 candles for completion of exhaustion. That tells us that there's a high probability of a stop hunt, higher time frame pin bar. So what do? Whenever we see waves, we can assume that there's some sort of lower low, right? Because this is not considered a significantly strong exhaustion. Okay, let's take it to the line chart just to make sure we're properly identifying. Okay, contact 1, contact 2. Okay, so what do we know now? Now we've identified area of sensitivity to break for entry. Price may make its way up here, down here. Eventually it's going to get squeezed. You can also call this a flag pattern. You can call this a wedge. You can call this whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it doesn't really matter because we trade based on knowledge. We understand that there's lower lows. All right, sell pressure is pushing for exhaustion, but buy pressure is saying, hey, we want to go up. We have fundamental pressure, but eventually it will. So to finish the sentence, what are we looking for here? We're looking for price to play in between the wedge. Once we see the push to the upside, hopefully that's entry confirmation. Let's see. We don't yet have price action confirmation. Okay, so we're on the 4 hour time frame. We do not have a bullish engulfing candle or significant pin bar, telling me that I believe that price will still make its way to test a little bit lower. Okay, once we have price action confirmation on the 4H time frame, we're looking for entry confirmation on the 1H. That'll probably be the break of this downtrend to the upside. Okay, Aussie USD, keep it close because we're looking at entry relatively soon. Okay, Aussie yen. Now, what do we know? Australian dollar is a really good pair. What about the yen right now? They're inconsistent. They're at a negative 1.9. We know that the Australian dollar is a better team in the short term, better team in the long term. Why? Because the yen is a safe haven status. We don't know yet what's going on. Okay, we don't know how the market will react. All right, so monthly upper, weekly upper, weekly lower, daily upper, daily lower. All right, so let's talk about flow. Let's talk about what we need to talk about, and just simplify the complicated. Right? Push, exhaustion, push. What's happening now? Are we going to see an exhaustion, or are we going to see price make its way to its next range, free range to its weekly upper? Probably free range. There is not enough sell pressure for price to come back for another exhaustion before a continuation move, right? So when we take it to the weekly time frame, we can see that price is now starting to trade above our daily zone, not below it. If there was sell protection, price would still be trading below. It is not, and that's because Aussie is strong and it has air support. So we identify push. We are now seeing higher time frame exhaustion. We have lower levels of sensitivity that we've identified, but the key here is what? Is that we're waiting for price to break what will be, and you'll see this on the lower time frame, a significant area of sensitivity to the upside before we find entry. And as you can see, price is reacting with sell sensitivity at this level as well. Okay, so it doesn't mean we're not going to the upside though. All right, so here we are on the 4H time frame. Okay, we see our first real contact of area sensitivity for higher time frame exhaustion. What is this? Impulse move to the upside. So the question is this double confirmation? Probably not, right? There's no real price action confirmation here. What I'm thinking is maybe this before move to the upside. Maybe this. Maybe it's just going to find buy pressure at previous low, depending on price action, right? Maybe it's doing this. Okay, but either way, we need a break upper level of sensitivity, which we've identified as the extreme area of sell pressure. Before then, we find entry to the upside. So Aussie yen, a little bit more patience, okay? But do you understand the difference in probability between entering somewhere here compared to entering above the zone? The probability is much higher. Okay, so patience comes into play. Next, Aussie Kiwi. All right, we know what? The New Zealand dollar is gaining some strength. We know that we have Kiwi Consumer Price Index today, so we're keeping it safe. Probably not going to find any entries here. Okay, so positive 2.2 on the Aussie. Kiwi's at a what? Positive 0.8. Okay, so the Australian dollar short-term directions to the upside, but not by much. The Kiwi is also gaining strength, and the Consumer Price Index the CPI may change things. Okay, monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower, daily mid-range zone. All right, so now let's take it to the weekly time frame. All right, what do we know? We know that with buy pressure, because remember, Australian dollar had a lot of strength against the Kiwi here for quite some time. Also, when things are going well, Aussie again, because it's a bigger economy, is doing well. We see some sell pressure off our daily mid-range zone. Why is that happening? Because the Kiwi is actually starting to gain more strength. All right. So what can we say? Well, we can say that price likely won't be breaking straight to the upside. Okay. As you can see, buy pressure push, sell pressure came back in. Buy pressure push, sell pressure came back in. This is why you want to trade a pair that has serious separation. Aussie, it's like again, coming to sports, it's like the Australian dollar is the best team right now, but it's still playing a good team. Anything can happen. All right, you want separation. So Aussie, okay, we're seeing sell pressure. We're going to see buy pressure here. Why? Because fundamentals are getting flat, so we'll see some sort of consolidation. But we don't really care about consolidation. We're looking for either a move to the upside or a move to the downside. So we're not in Aussie Kiwi anymore. Aussie Kiwi is off the list. All right. CAD yen. All right. Good team paired against bad team. Let's talk. All right. CAD. Positive 2.2 yen is at a positive 2.2 yen is at a negative, 1.9. Okay, so short-term directions to the upside. What about our long-term direction? Again, to the upside. Okay, for the same reasons, all the same reasons. Now we've spoken about majority of the currencies, so you understand. Okay, so higher time frame downtrend with these lower lows. Okay, here's our monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower. Now, we know that there is a tremendous amount of sell pressure here, right? We had buy pressure come in. Right now, we're just talking flow, right? Monthly time frame. Buy pressure came in. Impulse to the upside. Failure of a full double confirmation telling us early injection of buy pressure, a ton of fundamental pressure. This is significant. Why? Because not only is there sell pressure from our weekly lower zone, there's sell pressure also from our higher time frame downtrend. So as price buy pressure reached this level, the impulse should have been stronger for potential double confirmation. But again, buy pressure just keeping it to the upside. Why? Because it has fundamental support, air support. As you can see, when we take it to the weekly time frame, buy pressure has tried to break up the upside, what? Multiple times. Finally, was able to break the sell sensitivity of this downtrend. Saw sell sensitivity still from the zone, but it's testing, okay? It broke the sell pressure from the downtrend and is now just testing, okay? So, we have what? A strong pair versus a weak pair. So, roses are red. What's violets or blue? Violets or blue, question mark? Or violets or blue? That's right. We have stronger Canadian dollar versus yen. We have air support. We have Canadian dollar will gain strength as vaccines continue to roll out, as countries start to be more optimistic, especially as the U.S. starts to move and starts to make some changes. Okay, so let's take it to the daily time frame. All right, what are we seeing here? We identified yesterday historical area sensitivity that goes way back. So we now know that we want price to either break this level to the upside, or we're looking for entry back at exhaustion. So CAD yen, it's not about direction anymore. It's about proper entry. So if price breaks to the upside, we're going to look for entry here. If price comes back, we're going to find entry here. Okay, so CAD yen, keep that close to the books. We're keeping a close eye on that one, all right? CAD Swiss franc next, all right? We're also going to get entry on this pair relatively soon, I believe. All right, the one thing to know, though, compared to yesterday, the Swiss franc was at a negative 1.7. Today, the Swiss franc is at a negative 0.1. The Swiss franc is gaining some sort of strength. It's important to keep that in mind, okay? So when we're looking for entry, maybe we lower the risk. Here's horizontal sell pressure, horizontal buy pressure. This is called what? That's right, higher time frame consolidation, all right? We see a break of consolidation to the downside. Remember, this is a monthly area sensitivity that has acted as significant support historically, and the only thing that can break area sensitivity like that is what? Significant fundamental direction. So here we have a push to the downside, exhaustion to the upside. We see sell pressure push right back down. Again, when we take it down to the weekly time frame, we spoke about this yesterday again. This is government and institutional support. Okay, countries have debt. Why do countries have debt as strategy? Because if you loan someone money, you have vested interest that they still have money so that they can pay you back. That's why debt is strategy, so that other countries have vested interest that your currency does not devalue to shit. So right now we are in a situation where price is testing this upper zone. Okay, you can call this our dailies, you can call this the weekly. Price hasn't traded in this range, but we've identified area sensitivity. But what we know is, if buy pressure is able to break sell pressure at this level, it's got free range to our monthly. But what is different than yesterday is that the Swiss franc is gaining more strength. However, doesn't mean that short-term direction isn't to the upside. It still is to the upside, right? A positive 2.1 compared to negative 0.1. Short-term direction is to the upside. Long-term direction really just depends on the outlook. Swiss franc can gain strength if shit hits the fan. Swiss franc will go down if confidence goes up. So as we go to the 4-hour time frame, okay, we see a push. We're now looking for entry at exhaustion. But what's important to understand, again, is the Swiss franc is gaining strength. We are seeing sell pressure make a move, buy pressure come in. Sell pressure make a move, buy pressure come in. This could also be considered a significant pin bar. We do believe that buy pressure will come in again, create a potential another pin. Okay, when we go to the 1-hour time frame, all right, I've identified what? We talked about this, right? After a push, sometimes if there's a wave, there's lower lows. So we're going to identify the trend line. Now what? For us, it's quite simple. If we're looking to the upside, price must break. All right, so we'll have an analysis on all these pairs that we're getting close to, okay? And keep your eye on CAD Swiss franc. But again, the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about with CAD Swiss franc is how the Swiss franc is starting to gain some strength. I mean, we have quite a big difference from yesterday's fundamentals to today. All right, pound USD next. All right. Pound USD is just some critical thinking here, okay? So we have pound, which is at a positive 1.1. We have the USD, right, which is at a negative 4.9. Short-term direction clearly to the upside. Long-term direction, questionable, right? Because when the USD starts to gain some strength and some momentum, it comes quick, right? So long-term is still questionable. Especially, I do believe we'll see some strength coming up here on the USD. So obviously there's more monthly zones, but let's take it to the past few years. Okay, we have monthly upper, monthly lower. So here's our weekly upper, weekly lower, just area of battle, okay? So we're only on the monthly time frame here. And what do we know? We know that buy pressure beat sell pressure at our weekly upper. It had free range to our monthly upper. And now we're looking to potentially break to the upside. But what do we know about this zone? It's a monthly zone. So question for you. Are we looking to the upside right now? No, even with fundamental direction. Why? Because we know that there is so much sensitivity at this level. Are we looking to the downside? No, because fundamental direction is to the upside. Okay, so for us, pound USD, we are not looking for an entry to the upside for the reasons we spoke about, and we're not looking for the entry to the downside for the reasons we spoke about. Okay, pound USD is off the list. Moving on. Pound yen. All right. Pound yen. Okay, monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower, daily upper, daily lower. Okay, so just area of battle. Pound is at a positive 1.1, yen is at a negative 1.9. Fundamental direction is to the upside. Okay, long-term direction is questionable as well. Okay, again, it's not like we're paired against Australian dollar, which doesn't really have any issues with COVID. Okay, pound things we could see numbers spike. There's LT is still questionable. Okay, now flow, buy pressure, broke sell pressure at our weekly lower, free range to what our daily lower. Buy pressure with fundamental support is breaking our daily lower. It's got free range then to what? Our daily upper. Let's take it to the weekly. Okay, we see what's the information here? Push. Do we see exhaustion? No, we see continuous buy pressure telling us what? Significant amount of buy sensitivity. That came with vaccine rollouts, okay? Again, horizontal sell pressure, now horizontal buy pressure. So what's the adjustment we're going to make on potential entry? Well, we now have level of consolidation, so our adjustment needs to change. Okay? I don't want to. Let's think about this. We're talking about probability, right? Why would we want to enter this trade to the upside before it breaks this level of horizontal sell pressure? Sell pressure has protected this level multiple times. So now we make slight adjustments. Okay, we're going to move our entry. All right, we'll adjust TP1, of course, as well. Move our SL. Okay. All right, so now what do we see here? We see, well, first off, TP1 is too close to entry now. And that would affect our SL because we have to have it to 1-to-1, and I don't necessarily need that. Okay, so let's remove this and optimize. So SL, first of all, let's look at protection here, all right? This gives us a great couple levels of protection if we adjust slightly lower. Okay, as you can see, another kind of high. Okay, we can see another level here as well. All right, and then obviously we have this level, which is our daily zone as well, but we'll show that. So our SL has been adjusted, and I quite like it. Why? Because let's say we find an entry above. So price starts to make its move to the upside. We're in. Hypothetically, it starts to come against us. We have one level of buy protection, former resistance becoming new support. We have another level of buy protection, and then we have another level of buy protection. We literally have 3 levels of buy protection protecting our stop loss, fundamental direction to the upside. We have strong pound against the yen. Okay, so SL was adjusted nicely. Okay, we're going to keep TP1 where it is. Let's see, is there anything mid-range? Remember, our SL has to be a 1-to-1. So if we were moving it up, our minimum TP range would have to be here. Let's see if I can, let's see if we can find another level of sensitivity. for TPU to make this 3 target zones. Yeah, we can. So right here, right? Immediately, right away, you see what? Horizontal sell pressure. So we're going to bring that across the board. Let's see if if it works still. Okay, so let's see. All right, so this would almost, as you can see, it's not 1-to-1, but it's a slightly less than 1-to-1. So this would be acceptable to make some change. And the reason why is this. I would rather have you have your SL slightly lower than the previous lows and be slightly less than a 1-to-1 to TP1 than being a 1-to-1 exactly and having your SL up here. Your percentages of winning dramatically increase, okay, which is why it's acceptable to bend the rules slightly here. Even though we're not a 1-to-1, okay, it's still pretty damn close. All right, now let's add our TP1. Okay, so here's our new adjustment. There's our new adjustments, right? So, as you can see, as we do our analysis, new information comes about. The new information is, hey, we have another level of respect here we have to watch out. Prices tried to break multiple times. So this level and has failed. Okay, so we adjust our entry. What now? We're waiting for push, exhaustion, price action, entry confirmation for continuational push. Okay, or if you're a breakout trader, you place a breakout above this high. If you're a limit order trader, once price makes a push, you would place a buy limit order at 142.300. Okay, pound yen. Moving on. Nope, that's it. Okay, so that's it for today for these pairs. So what we're gonna say is this, all right? As you can see, we narrow it down. We're starting to get really close, right? We have a couple pairs we're starting to get close to. We may narrow it down again. Remember, Swiss franc is gaining some strength, but how about CAD yen? How about Aussie USD, right? So we have some nice potential entries that we should be profiting from, okay? But again, it comes down to just risk reward and being a profitable, high probability. It's about the win percentage. Okay, I'm gonna say this one more time. We look at the best athletes in the world, like Michael Jordan. When he first got into the NBA, was he the highest paid player in the NBA? No, he wasn't. But what did he do? He increased his team's winning percentage. They became a championship team. All right. As soon as you start winning, as soon as your percentage is high and consistently, the money will follow. The contract will be signed. Okay, again, a lot of you, and I see this consistently, and it's very common, that's why I see it consistently, a lot of you are just like afraid of missing out on trades. You're just so afraid. Even if things become not optimal, as price starts to give you more information, you still enter because you become attached to that analysis, again, because you're afraid to miss a trade. It comes down to the winning percentage. Just focus on that. Again, I'd rather have you be 3 and 4 in the month than 5 and 30. Okay, it's about the winning percentage. All right, have less trades, more profitable. Have less trades, higher quality. Okay, quality over quantity, because eventually the quantity doesn't really necessarily matter. As long as you focus on the quality, over time, 1 or 2 trades or 3 trades a week is going to be a significant amount of money. Significant. So don't focus on the quantity, focus on the quality. That's what it's about, team. All right. So again, thank you for those of you who joined us today. Tomorrow I will not be live, neither will Jake. It's Friday. We're going to be live. I'm going to be live Monday to Thursday. Jake will be live Monday to Friday. Starting next Monday, Jake will have his Zoom link, so he'll start to trade at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, and I'll join him at 9 a.m., 6 a.m. my time. Okay, and so Jake will have his own link next Monday. All right, and anyways, I really appreciate you all. I love you all. Keep rocking. Jake and I are here to help you, and we have a couple cool entries I believe that are going to happen. So After this session, I have to close the Zoom. Okay, why? Because I have to upload the recording. All right, and then after that, I'm going to be doing the analysis. Okay, I need to film and post analysis for the Forex gentleman community. Okay, so and I need Zoom for that for the screen recording. So we're not going to be coming live after this for a little bit of time. Again, love you all. Keep rocking. Okay. Adam, Chris, Hector, Jacob, Jake, Jamie, Jajan, Joe, George, Luke, Morgan, Nick, Raven, Sahal, Senzo, Tobias, Malian. All right, everybody, thank you. And for those of you who left, thank you so much for joining me live. It makes it a lot more fun. Team FXG, keep rocking. See you all soon. Bye. All right. And for those of you watching the live stream, I really appreciate it as well. Okay. Thank you so much. And we will be back on Monday with another live stream, Monday to Thursday. Also, if you can, follow me on Twitch and subscribe to the YouTube. We're going to be doing trading and gaming. I do like the game Call of Duty. So if you want to, be involved in that, please make sure to press that red button or that purple button, whatever it is. Okay, keep rocking, and thank you all for joining me.